back next week for episode 25. That episode is going to have 17 alternate thumbnails for YouTube. Collect them all. Special anniversary edition. Until that time, bye everybody.
Bye.
Except for you people in the post show, because we love you guys because you stick around, right? So
we just open on that line with nothing prefacing it.
Yeah, I think it will be edited in nicely, don't worry. So, what did people
That
think?
was the thing.
That was alright.
It wasn't one of my favorites. Like I said, the gag about the elderly people moving slowly kind of got boring after like halfway into the episode.
It was a joke that got old.
It's the same reason why we didn't like the
There you go, that's a terrible pun. Probably the pun they were looking for, knowing them.
Here's the thing though. I can excuse this because it wasn't driven into the ground as much as the Go-Go Buzz episode. Like what had been, and that's saying a lot considering that this did have a guilt-tripping portion. But the thing that got me though was this was probably the first episode in a good while where Sonic actually was the highlight. I mean, he had the meteor, yeah, but
Sonic was the out-and-out star here, wasn't he? I mean, it was his episode as opposed to it really being about anyone else.
Eggman was still the highlight. Chili Dog! Sorry, Sonic, you can't win.
That just reminds me.
You cannot win pathetic.
There's a Sonic. I just realized there's a Sonic Paradox project out there. Sonic Junk Volume 2 is the kid-friendly version of it is called, and coincidentally, there's an entry in there where it's just all you hear is just yelling out "Chili Dog."
Obviously, they've stolen your ideas. You need to
Didn't we have this like a couple of weeks back where something appeared which was remarkably similar to something that Paradox had done?
I'm sensing a trend here.
So what? Sonic Boom is the official Sonic Paradox.
Sonic Boom is the Sonic Paradox fan project. Is what we're testing here.
At the rate this is going, there's going to be a character that appears.
Laugh that made no sense.
At the rate this is going, there's going to be a character that appears season 2. He's going to have a red beard. He's just going to be all monotone, and it'll probably
be everywhere.
No, I don't know if we really want that. Do we really want that kind of a character?
I don't know. It's
apparently Tanner's going to be in it anyway. So
Tanner's we didn't have the Tanner character. I've not seen the Tanner character since.
We need more Tanner, apparently.
No, I think Bill rang them up and got them to re-edit the episode so that character never appears again. Oh dear. But yeah, what did you think of that one?
I already said I thought it was alright.
Anything stronger?
It was a nice, pleasant little affair. Apart from the Go-Go section, which was kind of just suddenly happened and then like rammed into the.
That was
rammed into it like a. I'm trying to think of a good way to describe this. Like a truck for a wall.
A what?
Like a truck for a wall.
Alright. It was a truck full of wool for a second. I was a bit confused. Yeah.
Insert relevant Detective Conan clip here.
Oh, okay.
Of a truck going for a wall. Because that happened once.
Yeah.
That happened once in my small child show.
I'm sort of with you. It worked better for me on the second viewing. There are very specific highlights. Sonic getting really angry. So that Sonic face at Medburger was great. It's just a really cranky Sonic.
You wore the face I had most
I
of
love
today.
I love Knuckles is falling down. Actually, was really good. There's a few little details that I really appreciated, like the arresting momentum that you had with the propeller sort of spinning down in a very natural manner in the background. It wasn't like cut away, cut back, and it suddenly stopped. It really did just like come to a crawl and a finish, and that was really nicely done. There was a detail that could have probably been forgotten, so that was nice. There was the writing situation I thought was interesting in terms of everything going on. I like the fact that we got to see a motorbug. I like the motorbug's angry put out expression as well. Yeah, I mean, I also liked at the end that the little bit of a tie-in with Knuckles' love of nature, because if you the actual obviously it was a story about pirates apparently. It makes you wonder what Amy was doing with the book about pirates. I mean, was that supposed to be some sort of Mills and Boone style fantasy adventure?
The cover did kind of look like
It
it,
looks a bit like it to me as well.
but there's also the point where Sonic was reading it.
Yeah. But I like the fact
I'm okay with Sonic reading trashy romance.
it would be just funny that one of those things that Sonic sort of reads on the quiet as a part of his character. Actually, I like the apparent Amy date as well.
And it was exploding.
Yeah, with the selfie with an old style camera. Or an actual camera, I should say, to do the photograph of the two of them, and then for some reason skydiving.
Yeah, the bit with the explosions was funny. Just for no reason.
I did everything.
It made no sense.
It made no
was
sense.
like-
Yet it was.
It's like this doesn't make sense, therefore funny. It's like,
Everything
laugh at this, will you? And no,
It's not the kind of humour that cares, is it?
no, well, not really. But I like humour. I'm quite happy with humour that's out of nowhere. But,
I'm quite happy with the delayed explosion.
yeah.
I was like, wait for it. We got you, didn't we? No, we got you again!
They at the same time, there's things that are starting to annoy me a bit. So first thing was sorry, I didn't finish what I was saying about Knuckles. Knuckles, the reason I really liked there was like this little thing is that Knuckles going, oh, pictures.
It was cute.
It was a really sort of sweet thing to say, but again, it sort of tied back into Knuckles. This version of Knuckles is sort of nature and it was a parrot, and I love the fact that he was like really interested in this parrot, and was that his interest, as opposed to any other illustrations that were going on in this Mills and Boone style book.
We're gonna get Tribeca coming in saying, no, it wasn't to.
No, it was. Yes, it was. Okay, yeah.
It is now.
Yes, it was.
It is now. Sonic and Amy both read this trashy romance and went out together, and it just happened.
It's that style of cover. Why is Amy reading about a pirate adventurer very clearly? because that's what the book was about. Yeah, it would. I'm willing to bet that we're not told that, because I reckon that's probably something that was snuck through. You can imagine trying to explain. Amy wrote. She's reading a Mills and Boone book. Yeah, he's not going to admit that. We're not going to hear about that one. But it so was. I think the time of scurvy, or whatever it was that one in The Simpsons was that Marjorie. I think it was that, Life in Time of Scurvy.
There's one that was right.
Did she start one as well?
There is an episode where Marge writes a romance novel, and there is seafaring involved.
Yes. But you know the one I'm talking about, which is having a date, and Lisa's trying to practice the sax or whatever it is.
Synchronicity. No, just has a bus.
Anyway, so
Apparently.
things that I didn't like so much. I'm quite fine with leaps of logic occasionally, but this is again one of those episodes where it could have been, which is exactly like the game was actually, where the entire thing could have been solved by doing one thing. Technically, could have done two things, which was either learn to step left or learn to step right. I'm not quite sure why Sonic was suddenly completely, even on the top down, when you were looking at the actual bit that Sonic was going through, there was no real reason for him to go that specific pathway. There wasn't even a path there. He wasn't constrained in any way. He just chose to go that way and not go a different way. And yet, obviously, he kept coming across all these things that were in his way.
His other problem could have been he apparently can't ignore anything.
Yeah, he's completely
Again, we're discussing that.
Yeah, but then he does the thing where he then avoids the plants in the stones of concealed off area, whether it was that was in the middle. So he swerves to avoid that, and yet he's completely incapable of swerving to avoid anyone apparently. And Sonic's got good eyesight. You know, you have to have good eyesight when you're going that fast. So Sonic must be able to see these things well in advance. If you see where I'm going with this. So he must know, okay. He's got plenty of time to actually change direction and avoid this stuff, yet apparently he's only capable of seeing things like 5 meters in front of him. Which I'm pretty certain would, invalidate him from being able to drive a car, let's say, if he's got that kind of vision. Just go past the guy. Don't stick. Stop being polite. When did this guy, who's normally a bit of a jackass, in terms of consideration with people, see that episode where basically the entirety of the cast was agreeing on that fact that Sonic's a bit of a git after he was gone. In terms of consideration, why is Sonic so considerate and things? It kind of didn't work for me. The other thing that's now really beginning to annoy me is the inability, apparently, to stick with and promote, the company of the brand you're actually working with. Because we've had multiple Pac-Man references, we've had multiple Mario and Nintendo references, and I know I'm kind of flying against what Tanner's saying in the comments in terms of Mario joke. You can have that. You can have a Mario joke, a Nintendo joke, and a Capcom joke, a Namco joke, and a Konami joke, and boy, are there a lot of those this week. But at the end of the day, it's still Sonic, and it's still Sega. And every time we see something, a bit out of the... I mean, we kind of pieced together a couple of bits last week with the music references, but why would Tails have a collection of Super Nintendo games, all of which were the same, by the way? It's like that could have. So apparently, Tails has 25 copies of the same game. But why is that a Super Nintendo cartridge? Because it's something I presume they had to design for that. And it's one that makes no sense, and there's no real benefit to it. And make a nod back to the creation of the thing. Make it a nod back to the company that you're doing stuff for. at the end of the day, it's like you're promoting somebody else with that, and it's like it's just like a business decision in a way that I don't get it.
It's weird, yeah.
Do you guys see what I mean?
I do see what you mean.
Yeah. It's just you can have a reference. No one's saying that you can't have references and stuff, but it's like every time you've had a reference, it's been about something which isn't the parent company of the thing that's the show is about. It's about other companies and stuff, and maybe that's the writers putting in their own little nods to their own gaming past or historically. Obviously, Sega wasn't a massive in terms of the console war. Nintendo was America was very much Nintendo land as opposed to Europe, which was very much Sega. Sega very much over here. Maybe that's where I'm coming from a little bit, maybe because of that, but at the same time, it's just something that just doesn't make sense to me anyway. There we go.
TLDR, there's a surprising lack of Sega references for a Sega show.
And a strange amount of Nintendo references.
Yeah.
And none of them mocking, which is really strange.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Healthy referencing.
It's like it's opposite day or something. Last week was opposite day. This week was opposite day.
I don't think there's an opposite day anymore. I think there just
I think
might
that's just
be
the show.
opposite spring.
Opposite month?
No, because that's last month. That's what I'm saying. Opposite spring.
Yeah.
Opposite spring.
Yeah, but it's. But it's been multiple times now. Just like there was another little thing as well. I'm being super nitpicky this week, but it's as well that. I kind of agree with what you said, Donnie, as well. In that the joke, or I think it was one of you, so the joke kind of got a bit flat.
Yeah, about the what was it the
joke got old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was me that mentioned that, and Kat added onto it.
Yeah,
so.
and but there was a reason for that, which was if you're going to have like a recurring gag or something like that, it works far better in the space of a 20-minute show, let's say, because then that sort of gag's got a bit of room to breathe, if you like. Whereas in this, obviously, it's 10 minutes, and obviously it's.
I think it also didn't hit the magic number, which is 3.
But
3 is the best.
Yeah, it's got to be like back in terms of the gags in the show, and how things are rolling in terms of whatever story is going on. So it's got to be, hit it. The problem with that is that the gag loses its effect that much more quickly, and I think that this was a good example of that. That if it needed a little bit more space to breathe, basically this recurring as opposed to anything else.
I mean, I can sort of understand because there's only so much you can do with certain jokes, but. Boy, did we get a lot of that joke in this. I mean, it's not as, like I said, it's not as bad or as obnoxious as the Gogobuzz episode. That episode definitely felt like they did that joke throughout the entirety of the episode. Whereas here, it was only 6 times, And
we did have the Gogobuzz leader as well, didn't we?
Yeah, like I said, we had that one little bit with the Gogobuzz, like having a little guilt tripping moment, like halfway into the episode. But other than that, that was it.
To get the real benefit of that, you actually needed to have seen that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, otherwise, you just wouldn't have understood. You could understand, what he was doing in terms of the guilt tripping, but you wouldn't have like understood why, or why Sonic was really reluctant from the beginning to sort of get involved.
It was an odd moment of continuity.
It was an odd moment. Yeah, it was an odd moment of, hey, you remember this guy?
No.
In a series which is predominantly, hey, do you remember last week? No, fine. And there was highlights to me in Knuckles and Eggman. Again, Eggman's suicidal charge at the end was glorious. Like, he just finally just snapped because other people had got chili dogs.
All he wanted was a chili dog.
All he wanted is to be Sonic's friend, and now we can add this and share chili dog with him.
Yeah, it was just hilarious how pretty much the entirety of the end of this episode was just Eggman trying to get a chili dog. That was it.
Oh dear.
Eggman definitely, although I still felt like Sonic was the highlight of this episode solely just because of his reactions to everything, as he was trying to make the doing the trip. Eggman came close in line though, just on the basis of the chili dog rampage he went. That was also a good one. It's like I said, the episode wasn't bad. It's just it was
just drawn that way.
It was just it was just flawed in the sense that there was a joke run into the ground. But even then, I still enjoyed the episode for what it was. I mean, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but I'm going to say it wasn't good either. There was if it wasn't for say three specific moments, two of which involved Knuckles and one of which involved Eggman. That really, very fragmented because there were these specific this bit's good, this bit's good, but then everything in between it was a real sort of flat note. And honestly, I think it's probably one of the worst episodes, actually, as a result of that, despite some very good highlights in it. Bottom 3 or 4 for me in the series. Honestly, goodness.
I think I completed the thing.
Good! Because I've run out of things to be upset about this episode for.
Okay, I'm
Bill's
sorry that I couldn't.
His head in his hand at this moment, and I want to shut up. So let's get on with this.
I'm sorry I couldn't have completed this earlier, so you could have given me the second challenge.
No problem. It's
Does that roll over to next week?
it can roll over to next week if Bill Freiberger, in the event that he is watching this, or listening in somehow, doesn't give us a drawing challenge for you, a Sonic Boom related drawing challenge for Cat to draw character doing something or dressed as something or some situation happening. Like I say, it can be pretty much anything.
Okay, so no, I still cannot draw a car. Are you going to say I can draw a car? No, I can't draw a car. I was referencing a picture of a RC car.
I'll tell you what, Kat, for somebody who can't draw a car, that's not bad. In the space of time that you've had, and you've been doing other stuff as well, that's fantastic. And I also love the fact that, of course, you can't see over the steering wheel. 10 crazy minutes.
Well, Shadow is very short.
Oh.
Not sure Shadow is actually tall enough to legally drive.
Okay, I like where you've taken that. That's cool. Also,
But yeah, you can't exactly see the Hawaiian shirt, but I tried to make sure that it looked like specifically Axel's taxi, as far as I'm aware, because it seems they all have different taxis.
Oh, yeah, they all have different.
So I had to try and find a reference specifically to Axel's.
I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and I be pimpin'.
No, he's not Pimpin.
Aw.
He's
Okay, hold on
he should
back
not be
there.
Pimpin.
I'll take you to KFC.
No, was it like Pizza Hut?
That as well, I think, wasn't it? Well, one of them was KFC, and a Fila was one as well, wasn't it?
I don't know. I can't keep track of this marketing which was
Crazy
only in the version of a game I can't buy.
Licensing companies. I'm pretty sure one was Fila. I'm pretty sure KFC was one of them as well. Licensing. Oops. Let's see. Levi's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Tower Records. Pizza Hut was in there. Unsurprisingly, they didn't license the church. for the singing in the church in the middle of bloody nowhere. Well, I say middle of nowhere. The middle between the two main areas. Yeah, there was lots of things.
The image title is "Shut Up and Drive" because reasons.
It was Rihanna, isn't it?
I'm now gonna upload these properly to Tumblr. Because those are temporary links and I will die if we leave them alone.
Right. So, a Sonic Boom challenge next week. We'll, if Bill's up for that, just to challenge Cat to draw something in the space of this recording session. But has anybody else got anything they wanted to make note of in regards to the episode?
I honestly expected this to have more of a focus on Amy than it actually ended up turning out to be. Like,
yeah, there was no Amy, in fact.
We
were expecting more Amy.
With the way the synopsis made it sound like, it definitely sounded like there would be a little bit more Amy than that we'd see than it turned out.
Yeah,
but...
well, it was Amy's book. It was clearly Amy's book, so we couldn't have expected Amy to really be more of a part of it than a brief flashback, and then sort of bookending it. It was kind of bizarre.
Bookending. Yeah, I know. But yeah,
I'm clearly not laughing at all.
But like, what was it? I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, it sounded like people were gonna be like people thought that it would be Amy and Sonic that would be going together to the library or something like that, and it turned out to be not the case. It turned out to be that Amy was apparently busy with something and wanted Sonic to return the book for her.
What was Amy doing? Because she apparently hadn't. Because apparently she could have sorted it out herself, judging by the fact that she arrived at the library before closing.
Yeah, in a wheelbarrow, less.
Which again was never explained. I mean, was that?
Who needs an explanation for a wheelbarrow?
Was that supposed to be the wheelbarrow of the Gogaba?
Gogaba?
Might have been, actually, now that I think about it.
Gogaba.
Gogabara.
Gogabara.
I'm making up all the strange names like Farkana.
Oh yes.
And this will all be on the internet.
No, I think we all agree that Froconut is definitely the name of that. Because that was just far too good a name.
Yeah, like I definitely thought there would be more Amy than in this than it turned out to be, but even without it, like even despite that, apparently there isn't going to be an episode coming up with what looks to be a lot more of a focus on Amy than we've seen in a good while. So, as a matter of fact, next week's episode is called Into the Wilderness. And apparently Sonic and Knuckles are challenging Sticks to a race through the jungle. So we're going to be getting perhaps our first episode in a while where we're going to get a lot of focus on Sticks.
Good. We need a Sticks episode, and that sounds weird me saying that, but we do need a Sticks episode at this moment in time.
Yeah. After that episode, though, it's probably going to be our first Eggman-focused episode in a good while. We're going to have an Eggman-focused episode for the first time in, I I think since what was that episode? Let me check.
Eggman's been like
Tomato sauce.
yeah, Eggman's been the B character in a lot of the episodes recently.
Yeah, he hasn't actually had a focused episode in a good while. And that'll be the halfway episode actually. Episode 26 will mark the halfway point of season 1. And that'll be the week after next week's episode. And apparently, Sonic and the others are using Eggman's technology against him, and he ends up swearing off technology for good. That could be interesting. And then after that,
I wonder if that's where we see the green Eggman. Then.
You know,
if he becomes like he swears off technology, he becomes like Eco Eggman. That must explain the green Eggman toy. Maybe.
It might actually, yeah. But the episode after that, like that's the first episode that we're going to be getting in the second half of season 1, which will likely air. It's supposed to air in 3 weeks. It's Shez Amy, and this is the Amy focus episode where she decides to open her own restaurant, and it causes a rivalry with their former hangout. And the hangout is at a burger place that we saw in today's episode. Yeah. And Dave the intern apparently, gets very involved in this. So
I'm gonna draw Dave the intern.
Yeah, but that is apparently going to be our first Amy-focused episode.
Welcome to Mayor Burger, home of the Mayor Burger. Can I take your order? Okay, right. So that's next week. But for now, I think we're done, guys. So.
Yep.
Thank you very much for listening in to us talk random stuff and me ranting about things.
And thanks for listening to me send photos.
Only I care about, yeah. And tune into the end of the show where you'll be able to hear your the whistle that you have to put through the converter in order to get the picture if you've got the audio only version.
More DLC.
Yes.
Steam Early Access again.
If you're on the LMC version of the video, first of all, thank you very much, because that's my channel. But please like, comment, and subscribe. Put your question in for the next episode. If you put them down there, we'll answer you. Put any comments as well. We do go through these things on the next episode. Is there something that was bothering you about that episode? Was there something? Was there a hidden highlight that you saw that we didn't? What was that reference in the previous episode that we weren't told what it was, but apparently it was there? Please tell us, person, who that was. In between now and next week, I'll find out what that show even is, because I don't know what it is. But so please do that. If you're interested in more episodes, you can find out. You can find our entire lineup, if you like, in the playlist, which includes the Sonic Show episodes with the actual commentary of the episode and the pre and post shows. You can find that at sonicboom.tv. Alternatively, please sign up for the audio version, which is the pre-show, the episode, and the post show all together, but it's only that's the only audio version at sonicboomcommentaries.com. I believe it's also on iTunes and the like, for those of you who would like a podcast version of this. But until next week, who will be here next week? Who knows? No one may know the comings and goings of
Sonic Show.
Show.
Well, you can. I think it's rest assured that Kevin will be there. I will be there.
Hats.
Cat will be here, perhaps.
Yeah,
I hope Cat's here next week, because otherwise the drawing challenge is going to fall through a bit, isn't it? But yes, what will Bill say? Will Bill say anything? Will Bill be confused? Probably. But find out next week. Till then, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.